feedyourvampire.com.
Okay. This is really scary. It's the night of April 12th, 2019. Somewhere near the west bank of the Alevenheim Reservoir, a 14-year-old girl stumbles along a hiking path in the elfin forest. It's 3 a.m., and she's all alone. For unknown reasons, the girl wanders off the trail for roughly 30 steps, and then collapses into the underbrush. A lot could be going through her head right now, from the sensation of goosebumps on her arms, to the faces of her mom and dad who she left behind forever. What her brain is actually buzzing with are thoughts of a dark house. She pictures herself walking through its hallways, endless and teeming with the sounds of insects. It's not her life that she cares about. She'd gladly give that away. What she's afraid of is that he'll slam the door shut before she gets there, which means she'll have to stay this way forever. I know, because that girl was me.
So I'm back here looking for the exact spot where I collapsed that night. I'm pretty sure this is, this is where the rescuers found me. I mean, it's impossible to know exactly where I fell, but I know it was somewhere over here, just as I came over this hill where I could see the water down there below me. Through the wonders of technology, I can actually lay here and use my phone to look up and see the sky the way I would have seen it that night. Directly above my head is the star called Vega. It would have been the brightest one I saw. On my left, the moon is kind of creeping up right next to Jupiter. The fucked up thing is that while I was laying here looking at stars, Lucy was on the other side of the reservoir bleeding to death. It makes me sick to think about it. I try to put myself in her place to feel whatever she felt, but all I have is questions. What's it like to lie in the dark, covered in your own blood? Do you make a sound, or fade out silently? What's it like to look up and see some insane person standing over you with a knife? God, I hate thinking about this stuff.
Lying on that hill, I really did think I was dying. At the last moment, I heard his voice say, "Come." But I wasn't dying. It was Lucy who was dying. When I think about it, I imagine her like an old-fashioned ghost walking through the forest, covered in blood. In my head, I picture her that way, which is wrong. I shouldn't think of her like that. I should think about the reality of what happened. How from one moment to the next, she turned from a person into a corpse. For some reason, I can't. I always get lost in the fantasy, and I still don't get why our fantasies were so horrific, or how fantasies became our reality. They just did.
On the morning of April 13th, the sun rose at roughly 5:39 a.m. An hour later, just before 7, a group of searchers organized by the Escondido Police Department discovered me. Physically, I was in a state of shock caused by a combination of low body temperature and an anaphylactic response to being eaten alive by something called a kissing bug. The next 24 hours are a blur. I don't remember being at the hospital, though I'm told I spent an entire day there. Finally, on the morning of the 15th, I woke up feeling somewhat clear-headed. I was in my room at home. From my bed, I could see twilight breaking through the clouds, but that's not all. According to my diary, April 15th. Something weird was in my room this morning. It was completely black, like a shadow, or maybe covered in dark fur, like a moth. It was standing by my bed when I opened my eyes. Then it vanished. What I didn't put in my diary was that I had seen a creature like this one before. It was the monster from one of Lucy's stories. There were drawings of it in her sketchbook.
I'm pretty sure what happened to me was an episode of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis can make people hallucinate about strange beings in their rooms. At the time, though, I was convinced that Lucy had sent me a message. There was something that she wanted me to see in her sketchbook. Lucy had a million sketchbooks, but the one I needed was special. It was the one with the red tassel. The book was full of drawings that reflected all the horror of the Mr. Crawley stories. But whereas the stories left the gruesome parts to the reader's imagination, Lucy had illustrated the violence in all its cruelty. On the last page, I found a set of usernames, email addresses, and passwords, the keys to her secret life.
When I walk into a room, people run away from me as if I was a ghost. I'm not that scary, it's just that my body is covered in scars from when I had to be sewn back together, and my eyes are sunken, and my hair is dusted with dandruff.
Tell me more.
I guess I really am a ghost. Is it possible to love a ghost?
If that sounds like an incredibly gloomy dating profile, that's because it was. Lucy, writing under her alias Luz Oscura, posted it on her Vampire Freaks account in 2018. Vampire Freaks was like Facebook for people who thought they were eternally damned. On her profile page, she'd uploaded some sexed up photos of herself. This was Lucy biting her lip and angling her phone to imitate a photo of punk rocker Brody Dahl that she'd ripped out of an old magazine. What shocked me wasn't that Lucy was being edgy, it's that there seemed to be another version of her existing far away from me. A Lucy that I didn't recognize. A Lucy pretending to be covered in scars. You could believe it, seeing how cutting is so common among girls, but trust me, having watched her try on a million different outfits, there was hardly a scratch on her. It's like she was trying out a role.
You think that if you take me home, I'll be nice to you, because you saved me. This doll doesn't want to be saved.
What if I insist?
You pull up her little skirt and she smiles. You didn't know that she could smile.
What really disturbed me were the things she said in private conversations that she carried out in DMs with guys that were way too old for her. What stuck with me is that Lucy was a very willing victim of various acts of physical and sexual violence, even if it was all imaginary. Some of these conversations may have constituted something illegal, given that Luz Oscura was only 14. These were also her private thoughts, which she expressed to strangers in anonymous space.
I can't get over you. I've never met a girl that could make me feel so cold inside. I have to meet you. Come to LA. We have a place here where we do the rituals, but we should talk about it in Discord, not here.
Another thing her chats revealed was the real reason she'd taken off to Los Angeles. It was, as I'd suspected, to meet a boy. At first, I thought it was another random goth guy looking for someone to impress, but as it turned out, he was the lead singer of a semi-popular band based in LA. They did the kind of glammy metal that Lucy was into, so it made sense that she was talking to him. In DMs, the boy had invited Lucy to come stay with him in Los Angeles. He said he had a place where he and his friends did rituals. At first, I thought ritual was another word for concert, but when I clicked on the Discord invitation, I found out that rituals didn't refer to music at all.
Storms of the night, bring me my master. Bring me the abyss of his laughter. We are but flames burning with greed. You hidden ones, do not allow us to deceive ourselves. who have corrupted all we touch. Stir us now with useless agitation. Drag us through your tunnels of woe.
Discord has a reputation as a place where groups of people go to do shady things in private. The invitation I'd clicked on took me to a server where people with weird, unpronounceable screen names were sharing videos of themselves performing some kind of virtual magic. It looks like they shot this in a burnt-down cottage.
Cry out for your blind violence.
The room they're in barely has walls.
Fill us with your sour
You can see the sky and some treetops in the background.
Teach us to delight in torment.
The guy who's talking is standing beside a fire pit.
Forever.
You can't see his face because he's wearing a balaclava,
Terror.
but he's got a hammer hanging from around his neck.
So that in our
It
hate
stands out because he's not wearing a shirt and his chest is like pale white.
now,
You don't notice them at first, but there's people lying on the floor.
to the thunderous
They're wearing
sound,
black hoods and robes.
beware
Their legs and feet are bare, so
that
you
words
can tell they're naked underneath.
as they are spoken.
Hold on, let me go back so you can hear it.
We who are suffocating cry out for your blind violence. Fill us with your sour breath. Teach us to delight in torment, so that our pain will be preserved forever. In this night of terror, teach us to embrace death.
The fire rises up sometimes, and you can see that there's other people watching this from a distance. They're wearing masks too, but they look like they got theirs at a Halloween store.
So that in our hatred for life, we might live forever. Now, you supplicants, speak to the thunderous stars. Beware that words do burn the mouth as they are spoken. Who are you? Nobody. What do you know? Nothing. Are you awake? I surely doubt it. What is your wish? For the Master of Eternal Death to stab me with her hair. Are you prepared to ruin all within you that resists ruin? Yes. Then the rain will begin.
The video gets really loud here, so I'm going to lower the volume. I can't tell if this sound was actually, like, played on a speaker, or if maybe it was put onto the video afterwards. Here you can see this woman enter the scene. She's not wearing a shirt either. She walks over to the people on the floor and pulls their robes up, showing their genitals. I mean, you can't really see shit because it's so dark, but that's what it looks like. This is fucked up. The other guy gives her a candle and she starts to drip wax onto their private parts. Listen. From what they're playing, I'd say this is supposed to be some kind of satanic or, I guess, vampire ritual. The first time I watched it, I was really scared. It sounds so, it feels super dark and chaotic. But if you watch it with the sound off, what stands out is that whatever this is, it's something that they've practiced. Even the people with the clown masks at the back seem to be taking it all so seriously. I was in the Discord for about an hour when I got a DM from a moderator asking me to identify myself. I told them I was Luz Oscura. A few minutes later, I got a reply that said, "No, you're not." At that point, I started downloading everything. I managed to save some videos on my hard drive before they booted me. The other thing I did was click on a link to a Google Drive. I downloaded 3 zip files that were labeled Guide to Dreaming, Guide to Tulpamancy, and Guide to Mind Control. The Mind Control file was corrupted, but I still have copies of the other two. The Guide to Dreaming was an instruction manual for connecting to other worlds via your dreams. It described different types of entities you could encounter, but mostly focused on vampires. The Guide to Tulpamancy was even more interesting because it described how you could use your mind to bring those entities into the real world. According to the books themselves, the authors were a group of people called the Brood of Night. I think in some way or another, Lucy was involved with them.